Once on a farm long ago, a mama duck sat on her nest. How long must I wait for my babies to hatch? I have to sit here all alone. But what else could she do? Mama duck must keep her eggs warm till they hatch. At last, the eggs began to crack. One yellow duckling stepped out of its shell, then another. They all shook their wings. Quack, quack. Look at all of you, cried Mama Duck with joy. You are so cute. Quack, 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 they said. Come line up, said Mama Duck. We will go down to the lake for your very first swim. She counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh dear, she said with a frown. I should have 6 ducklings. One large egg was still in the nest. Well, said Mama Duck, it looks like that big egg will take more time. So she had to go sit on her nest again and wait some more. The next day, the big egg started to hatch. Out stepped the baby boy bird. My goodness, how different this one looked. He was so much larger than the others. He was not yellow, but dark gray all over, and he walked with a funny wobble. One of the yellow ducklings pointed. What is that? He cannot be one of us. I have never seen such an ugly duckling, said another. How can you say such a thing, said Mama Duck in a stern voice. You are only 1 day old. Your brother hatched from the very same nest as you did. Now line up. We will go to the lake for your very first swim. All the way there, the ducklings quacked. Ugly, ugly, ugly. The ugly duckling didn't know why the other ducklings were yelling at him. He took the last spot in the line. When they got to the lake, each yellow duck jumped in and swam behind Mama Duck. When it was his turn, the ugly duckling jumped in too and started to paddle. At least he can swim, Mama Duck thought to herself. When the yellow ducklings got out of the water and started to play, the ugly duckling tried to play with his brothers and sisters. They yelled at him, Go away. We will not play with you. You are ugly, and you walk weird. When the Mama Duck was close by, she would not let them talk this way. Be nice, she would scold. But she was not always close by. One day, one of the yellow ducklings said to the ugly duckling, You know what? You would do us all a big favor if you just went away. All of them started to quack. Go, go, go. Why won't they let me stay? Thought the ugly duckling. He hung his head down low. They must be right. I should go. That night, the ugly duckling flew over the farmyard fence. He flew until he landed on the other side of the lake. There he met 2 grown-up ducks. Can I please stay here for a while? Said the ugly duckling. I have nowhere else to live. What do we care? Said one of the ducks. It's a big lake. Just don't get in our way. Woof, woof. Suddenly a big hungry dog came tearing by, chasing the 2 ducks. They quickly flew up in the air, and their feathers fell down on the ground. The poor ugly duckling froze in fear. The dog sniffed and sniffed at the ugly duckling, then turned around and walked away. I am too ugly even for that mean old dog, said the ugly duckling, with his head hung low. The sky turned dark. Crack. A bolt of lightning lit up the sky. Then came a big storm, with heavy rains pouring down. In just moments, the ugly duckling was soaked through and through. A cold wind started to blow. Brr. He held his wings close to his chest. If only there was some place I could dry out. All at once, a tiny light blinked far off in the woods. Could it be someone's hut? The ugly duckling flew to the door. Quack, said he. The door of the hut creaked open. What's all this noise? Said an old woman, looking right and left. Her eyes were not that good, but she could hear. She looked down. Huh, a duck. She picked up the ugly duckling and dropped him inside her hut. You can stay here, but I expect you to lay eggs, she said. A tomcat and hen both crept up to the ugly duckling. Who do you think you are coming here and taking up room by the fire? Said the tomcat with a hiss. Squawk, said the hen. I'm the only one around here who lays eggs. Don't worry, said the ugly duckling. I'm a boy duck. Then why are you here? Said the tomcat. Didn't you hear what the old woman said? Get out of here, impostor, clucked the hen. Go away, hissed the tomcat. The door was still a bit open, so the poor ugly duckling slipped out the door and back into the storm. No one ever wants me, said the ugly duckling, with a tear in his eye. The storm ended. Finally, he found another lake. Looking in the water, the ugly duckling saw a reflection from above, a flock of large birds flying by. He turned to look at them. They were the most beautiful birds he had ever seen. Their long bodies and slender necks winged through the sky with ease and grace. He watched until the very last bird disappeared from view. The ugly duckling stayed at the lake as the days grew shorter. The leaves turned deep red and gold and fell to the ground. Winter came, sending its blanket of white snow. The cold wind blew and the clouds darkened. The ugly duckling had to dive into holes in the ice-topped water to find fish to eat. It was all he could do to keep paddling the water so it wouldn't freeze around him and trap him in the lake. I'm so tired, he thought. The ice got thicker and drew closer to him. In a moment, two giant hands swept him up. You poor thing, said a farmer. He held the ugly duckling close to his thick, warm wool jacket. You didn't fly south with the others. The farmer was carrying him someplace. But where? The next months were lovely. Warmth from the heat of the fire and also from the heart of the farmer. For the rest of the winter, the farmer cared for the ugly duckling. At last, spring came. Tips of grain dotted the tree branches. Short, bright flowers popped up from the ground. It's time for you to go back to the lake to swim again, as you were born to do, said the farmer. He took the duckling back to the lake where he had found him and set him with care on the water. I feel good, said the young bird, flapping his wings. Why, I don't think I have ever felt as strong as I do right now. The spring passed, and summer. When the leaves started to change colors again, one day the ugly duckling heard quiet splashing sounds behind him. He turned around. A flock of those same beautiful birds he had once seen winging through the sky had landed beside him on the lake. Don't worry, he said to the beautiful birds, holding out one wing. I will go away. I will not make trouble for you. He turned to go. When he looked down at the lake, he saw a reflection in the water that looked like one of those beautiful birds. Why was that bird so close to him? He jumped back. The reflection jumped back too. What is this, he wondered. He stretched his neck, and the reflection of the beautiful bird in the lake stretched its neck too. Why are you going so soon? Called out one of the beautiful birds. Stay here with us, said another. We'll be friends. Then the birds who used to be the ugly duckling knew what had happened. He was no longer an ugly gray bird that wobbled when it walked. He had become a swan. But then he thought of something else. Oh, you're only inviting me because I'm a swan and I look like you, said he. That's not it at all, said the first swan. Other birds fly with us that don't look anything like us, said the second swan. Like Pelican. Yep, said Pelican. Stayed up too late the night before, slept till noon, and my flock took off without me. What can I tell you? It happens. And egret over there, said the first swan. It was this great windy day, said egret. The currents, incredible, tons of fun. Then I found out my flock had taken off. By then, there was no way I could catch up. The hero of our story was not convinced. I will stay here, he said. Winter may get a little cold, but spring will come. May get a little cold, said the second swan. Think about it. At the place we fly to, the sun shines hot all day long. Thick, delicious pond grass. Lots of birds go there, all kinds. Come on, said the first swan. I bet you'd love to fly farther than just around this lake. That much was true. He had always wondered where the other birds were flying. What kind of mysterious places did they go? In one moment, all of the flock, including their newest friend, flapped their wings and took off into the clear blue sky. The end.